Hi, this is Fran from coventrypilates.co.uk and this is my hips and thighs 10-minute workout. So we're going to head on down to the floor straight away. So knees are bent, feet are on the mat, and we're coming down into just a nice relaxed neutral position. Neutral position here is just where we're naturally resting. It's not difficult to find, but we do sometimes focus on maintaining it as we move. From here, we're going to float up our left leg. Extend the leg up to the ceiling, so we're stretching away. It doesn't have to be dead straight here, it can start on an angle. We're going to flex the foot and drop the leg towards the floor, squeezing through the bottom muscle a bit there, pointing the toes and drawing up. We flex the foot again and we drop the leg away to the side. And here we focus on keeping the hip still so that we're not rolling with it, we're controlling it. Point the toe to return. So it's flex to squeeze down, point to draw up, flex to drop away, point to draw up, and we're staying nicely controlled through the pelvis here. So sometimes we allow the hips to move a lot and we try and really increase that mobility, but with this one we're working on pure strength, so it's real lot of strength through the leg, through the hip and thigh, but also particularly through that stabilizing effect, so those deep abdominal muscles. We've done 5 there, so you could go up to 10. We're going to change sides, so lift the leg, extend away. Flex through the foot to drop down, point the toe to come up. Flex to drop away to the side, point the toe to come up. And as you're dropping the leg away to the side, just watching out that the other leg doesn't drift away. Keep that nice and still too. Make sure the head is comfortable as you work through here in your neutral. If you need a little bit of support, you can always just place a little rolled up towel there. But it just depends on your posture. This is a bit much for me. You can see how the chin is getting pushed down into the chest. We don't want that. So for me, my head in neutral position is flat on the floor. So if you do want a bit of lift, that's fine, but just make sure it's not too far. Okay, so that is our 5th repetition on there. So again, you could go up to 10 each side there. Draw the knees in, draw the feet in a little bit closer towards the hips. Your knees are going to be slightly apart. And if you have got something like a rolled up towel like this, or a cushion even is a good thing, pop that in between the knees. We're going to hold on to that. So from here, our focus now is working through the back side of the body. We tilt our tailbone upwards, so it starts pointing forward to the feet. We curl the tailbone up through there. So we're drawing up into our shoulder bridge position, which is a nice straight line from knee down to shoulder. From there, we roll down. Imagine somebody rolling you out with a rolling pin. So you're trying to keep your bum off the floor for as long as you can. Flatten down to your spine as you come to the tailbone at the end. So we scoop and roll and we push up. Now, although it's the spine that we think of moving, the best way to really focus on shoulder bridge is actually thinking of the pushing through the hips. So we're driving from our bottom. So we curl the tailbone, and naturally, as we push up through here, the spine will naturally come up. It's better to do it like that because it keeps the strength into those glutes, which is what we're mostly after. We're getting the mobilizing of the spine, but if we tend to think of pushing from the back, we end up putting tension into the back when really we want it to be quite relaxed so it can work through the mobilization, the curling and the rolling. So let's do one more here, and we're going to roll down through. And all of the time we've just been gently holding on to the towel. So I haven't mentioned it because just naturally your legs will be holding it. Here we're going to add some arm stretching. So we take the arms, we stretch them back in ahead, and then we return over with them as well. And we could continue there and do a few more repetitions. So that's mostly working through the bum muscles. There'll be some hamstring assistance and some low back work. And with the addition of the towel, there's going to be a more noticeable, the inner thigh muscles are always working in shoulder bridge anyway, but it's going to be more noticeable with the addition of the towel. So from there, we're just going to pop that away to the side, turn onto our side. You can support your head either up or down here. Draw the knees up so the feet are together, and from here, as you breathe out, float the knee up to the side. Breathe in, just lightly touch the knees together, don't press down. Breathe out and breathe in. This is another one. All of the sideline work is sometimes where a towel is useful. So It's just supporting the head there. Again, that's probably a little bit much for me, so if it was a little bit looser, that would probably be better. So we're going to float up and down. We go for about 10, maybe 15 repetitions here, depending on how it feels, and we focus on keeping the pelvis nice and stable. So we've got the connection to the breath as we lift, breathing out, a little bit of extra abdominal connection there. We've got some strong hip, deep hip and thigh work happening. So let's go one more time. And then release. From here, stretching out our bottom leg. This time I'm going to use my towel or my cushion to support my top knee there. We're flexing that bottom foot and we're lifting through and we're floating down, but we're not stopping and resting. So once we get going, there's that constant work. So it's breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. So your belly relaxes slightly when you breathe in, and as you breathe out, you get this natural tightening up through the centre as the breath helps you. With this one, there's also a little bit of extra squeeze at the top of the lift. So we bring the leg up to the top, a bit of a stronger squeeze there, trying to encourage the movement a little bit. And we'll do, again, probably about 10, maybe 15 repetitions there. So we've got a couple more to do here. And last one to finish. And release that. Very nice. We're going to come up and over, straight to the other side. So you could just turn over, but so I'm still facing you. I'm going to go this way. So coming into our clam first. Again, supporting the head however is comfortable. Knees are lined up to start with, feet are in the air, and we breathe out as we float up. Breathe in, lightly connect the knees. So it's lifting and lowering. So it's using the weight of the leg to challenge these deep hip and thigh muscles. But as we're doing that, we're also keeping this nice, steady, still position. So we're not rolling and shifting and moving here. Keeping that stillness and stability, and also having that connection to the breath. We're getting that deep supporting work from the deeper center muscles. So we've got a couple more to do this side. Staying connected to the breath. And that will be it. From there, we use our supporting cushion to support our top knee, stretching out that bottom leg, flexing the foot. Quite important that we keep that foot flexed and that we think of lifting straight up to the side. What we want to avoid is flicking this way. So we're pulling sort of slight, although it looks kind of upwards, it's more backwards and the knee is bending and we're working more in the hamstring. We want the leg dead straight, pushing out through the heel so the work is really focused into the inner thigh. And as we get that nice inner thigh work happening, so remember we've got that bit of extra squeeze at the top, that's going to be working into the pelvic floor and with the breath as well. Again, we've got that nice connection into the center. So breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Last couple of repetitions here. And release. From there, we're going to roll over onto our tummy. So just pop that out of the way. We are resting one hand on top of the other, forehead down there, and we are stretching and lifting through the leg. Squeezing, focusing on squeezing through the bottom here, so the front of the hip pushes down to the mat. The knee hovers a little bit. What we don't want to do is lift and twist here, so keep the hip stuck down. Bend the knee, flex the foot, pull in towards the bum, stretch away, then do the other side. Lengthen, lift, squeeze, and stretch away. So we're alternating from here. We'll do about 10 on each side. There's a few things to think about, so definitely breath, exhale as you lift and squeeze, inhale as you stretch away. And although there's effort in both directions here, we're going to be exhaling on the pulling in. We inhale as we stretch the legs away, but there is a lot of work there, so really focus on trying to stretch and lengthen out through that leg as it comes back down to the floor. So it's not just relaxing back to the floor, it is definitely stretching and lengthening away. So I think we're on our last couple here. Stretch, squeeze, and of course you can always do a couple less or add on a couple if you're needing more or less challenge. So from there, we're bringing the hands in by the shoulders. We push ourselves up onto hands and knees. We're going to roll into cat, out into cow. So we're just moving there, giving the back a little bit of a gentle stretch through. As we do that, we also start to add a little bit of side to side movement, so sending the hips in different directions, drawing out through the ribs and the shoulders, just moving wherever the spine wants to go really. Then we come back into our child's pose, so bum towards feet, stretching those arms away, just settling there for a couple of breaths, maybe encouraging the breath a little bit too, into the ribs, so getting a bit of stretching from that breath as well. We'll draw the hands in by the knees, press down, and we're going to roll up to the top, and that's the end. Well done.